In other stories, princesses from the 9 royal families in Oyo State have rejected the appointment of Oba Abimbola Akim Wade as the new Alaafin of Oyo. The princesses, known as Atiba 9, described his appointment as unacceptable and a disregard for tradition. They say that Wade's appointment by Governor Seyi Makinde was not only contrary to the deeply rooted customs, culture and traditions of Oyo, but also a violation of the rule of law, which should guide the selection process for the throne. Well, joining me now is a representative of the Oyo Prominent Sons Group of Fabiyi, Dimeji. He joins me live in the studio here. Thank you so much for your time on the news. Well, you and the rest of the kingmakers call the Atiba 9 princes. You've raised some concerns against the disappointment, right? And of course, first is that what are those specific concerns that you've raised, that you have regarding this appointment? That is when, and secondly, I need you to also shed, some light on the processes, all right, the traditional processes involved in selecting a new monarch and the role of the kingmakers in the process.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. Let me start by saying that what we experienced in Oyo in the last few days is quite pathetic. It's unfortunate. Oyo shouldn't be. Oyo is the basin of tradition in Yoruba land, and is the heritage of Yoruba land that has values, that appreciate value, that carries so much weight. So if anybody is trying to toy with that, it's really going to, I have no doubt that it's going to backfire. Let me say this. With what has happened in Oyo now, with what is happening now in Oyo, I think Governor Seyi Makinde has placed a huge moral burden on himself that he will live with it for the rest of his life. I pray it grows to maybe 70, 80, 90 when he reflects, and he will regret the decision he has taken. Because I have not seen, even if you want to rewrite history, you want to rewrite tradition, this is not the best way to rewrite it. Having said that, there are a couple of things that are wrong because there were gross violations of both the custom, tradition, and even law. Because Oyo traditional chieftaincy law, is governed by 1961 declaration.
All right.
And 2000 Oyo state chief laws. These laws spelled out details of who and who should do what are the roles. It talks about the role of the ruling houses. It talked about the role of the Oyomeses, the kingmakers. It talks about the role of the government. So this legal framework provided what is expected of every component. For instance, the legal framework, the 2000 Oyo chieftaincy law talked about it talked about 5 key areas. One is the recognition of 2 ruling houses, the Agunloye and Alowolodu. These are the 2 rulers that were recognized by the law. Secondly, it talks about rotational occupancy, that it has to be alternated between these houses. It talks about eligibility requirements, that before you can contest, you can aspire to be a king or to become an Alaafin, you must be a male of the descendants of the family that is to produce, because it's going to be alternated. It talked about the final decision that will be made on who becomes the Alaafin, that which is the prerogative, the authority, the right, the power given to the Oyomeses under the leadership of Bashorun, the Prime Minister.
So are you saying the new Oba has not met all of these requirements? If not just none of these requirements he has met? It
has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the violation by the government of the state under the leadership of Governor Seyi Makinde. It was a brazen violation of customs. It was a brazen violation of our laws. So what I am saying is that the Oyomesi has the power for selection, because the law empowers the Oyomesi to select who becomes, and it has its procedures. Okay, when the late Alaafin died, the late Lamidi Adeyemi died, may his soul rest, there are procedures. The Oyomesi wrote to the government that since Alaafin had done, after the completion of both official and then traditional rights, and they said, we need to start this to have. So they wrote the government replied. Alaafin died April. By July, the Oyomesi assumed their constitutional role. They wrote to the government through Atiba local government under whose jurisdiction Alaafin and the Oyomesi operates. They wrote to the government, we need to start this procedure. By August 5, approval had come. Commence the process. They did. By September, they did the interview, they conducted the interview and all the screening for all the aspirants. 84 of them were involved, including this individual that the governor declared in his office.
So you are saying the process by which the new Alaafin
it was flawed, totally flawed.
Just a moment, that the kingmakers, the Oyomesi in Oyo, didn't have knowledge of all through the process when the name will be submitted, when the selection,
No, please, no. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, all right.
The kingmakers did performed their responsibility as required by the law. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
They did the screening, they conducted the screening, they conducted the interviews out of 84.
Point taken. Now, just to look at some issues before I let you go because of our time. Some have said, that a traditional institution has lost touch with core power, and again, based on the fact that they have also lost the authority again because it has become political, especially in the modern day traditional jurisdictions and all of that in it dealing. So, and that what is left now is just mere color. No power attached and all of that. How do you address this position before we go to other issues?
Thank you very much. But before I do that, there is need for me to actually address a very, very important issue in all of this controversy. Right. And that has to do with what the governor has been throwing to the public, the old man that conducted the fire divination for them. They predicated the decision on two things. Number one, that there was bribery allegation. I think for me, the governor is well exposed, is well read, is well traveled. When you allege, you must be able to prove. As we speak today, there has not been single evidence that lay credence to the fact that the Alaafin elect Prince Lukman Adelonu bribed anyone. No single allegation. You caused the EFCC to investigate no single evidence or report against these people. That was one. You now said because of that, you consulted Ifa Oracle. Let me say this so that the whole world can know. Ifa Oracle has never been part of selection of Alaafin in history. Over 3 centuries. It has never been. And this is backed by not just the custom, it's also backed by law. Just recently, Federal High Court Oyo ruled that Ifa has nothing to do with the selection of Alaafin. I need to make this clear so that people can know that the propaganda that is being banded by the state government is unfortunate. You said people... Prince Lukman Adelonu is a respectable prince in Oyo. He exhibits this culture of giving. He has long-standing relationship with the Oyomesis over time, over the years.
Right.
So, and let me tell you, see, before I drop this, even the governor himself, why these people are waiting for his assent to the unanimous decision that picked Prince Lukman as Alaafin elect, he still promised them a car and money. Okay. If not because of the exigency, if you had given them, would somebody have said that that was bribery? So let us be clear here. And the government should stop this propaganda. It's not going to help anybody.
Okay, quickly before I let you go, this issue seems to have divided opinions, created divisions among the people for your royal families and all of you within the royal families in Oyo. But how do you think the kingmakers in Oyo intend to address this division and ensure final resolution on this? And secondly, I also need you to also speak on the issue, measures you believe can be taken to address these concerns you have raised, and now to make amends of what you're talking about now.
No, it's simple. It's for the governor to reverse his action. We have Alaafin elect that was duly elected, that was selected by the Oyomeshi that has the constitutional power to do that. Is to reverse it. Let me tell you, we've seen in this country somebody who illegally occupied the throne for 18 years. He was removed. And we don't want to express that in Oyo. Oyo Alaafin is too big to be drawn into this scam. It's not going to stand. It's going to fail. Mr. Governor should remember posterity. It will come.
All right. I think we just have to leave it as developing conversations, and of course we'll continue. Representative of your Prominent Sons Group, Fabiyi or Dimeji. Thank you for coming on Newsnight.
Thank you very much.